How did the most hated rookie group become a million seller and a leader of the fourth generation of K-pop? In today's video, we're gonna dissect the untold truth behind Aespa's quick success and why people suddenly started to love them so much. The untold truth. If you aren't new to K-pop, you for sure heard a thing or two about Aespa. The group is made out of 4 members who are all unique and extremely talented, but initially all of them received a lot of backlash, which now makes people wonder how they sold 1 million copies of their latest album just in pre-orders. When Aespa debuted in 2020, people held a grudge against them for various reasons, and all of these reasons led to them being the most hated rookie group of that year. So what are these reasons, you ask? First, Aespa are signed under SM Entertainment, and if you don't know, SM groups notoriously get a lot of hate at early beginnings, but they always rise to the top as people suddenly start to like their music after it grows on them a bit. This was the same case with Aespa, as the girls were from the beginning bashed for every little coincidence. However, their unique music was so catchy that people couldn't stop listening to it. What many people found a bit irritating was SM's way of dealing with things. The issue that arose when Aespa's debut was announced was that another SM group was going through a hard patch. Irene, the member of Red Velvet, was accused of rude behavior and horrible attitude towards the staff behind the scenes. These accusations were later proven to be false, but Irene went on a hiatus, and many fans of Red Velvet were naturally worried about the group's future. SM stayed very quiet about the whole situation after Irene went on hiatus, and then suddenly the news about Aespa's debut dropped, which seemed as if they tried to cover up Irene's scandal. This made the Red Velvet fans a bit angry, and some of them even wrote very hateful comments on Aespa's accounts. Another thing that is always against the SM groups is that SM's creative team has a thing for units and the number 2. What they do is that they first create a male group and then create their counterpart, meaning they come up with a female group with similar concepts and features. For example, Super Junior and Girls' Generation, SHINee and FX, EXO and Red Velvet, and after NCT came Aespa. This often leads to fans of the male groups hate on their female counterparts, although the groups themselves have nothing but love and support for one another and both represent a unique unit. Now, one of the biggest issues was the AI concept. The AI avatars of each individual member were considered a bit weird at first, and the members themselves seemed to feel a bit icky about the whole thing, as sometimes they didn't know how to answer the questions regarding their concept of Kwangya and the whole virtual reality, but over time they grew into it. What many people don't understand though is that this concept of AIs is extremely attractive to big brands and corporations. These big companies see it as a way to leverage more money, and in the world of 21st century where NFTs and other virtual features are getting a lot of recognition, Aespa were a step ahead as they could potentially use their avatars in the future. Not only that, but these avatars were introduced from the beginning, and that's why once SM announces a webtoon or a series about Aespa, these avatars will be used instead of the members themselves, and it will be easier for people to connect with them as they will already be familiar with them. They're doing it actually right now with the whole SM cinematic universe thing. Honestly, SM's Lee is a genius and he knows what he's doing. But let's get to the real core of the stuff and look at the exact moment when everybody knew that Aespa didn't come to just mess around, but they came to win. The big moment. Although the Aespa members had to deal with a lot of personal issues and scandals at the beginning of their career, they rose to the occasion and decided to prove to all the people who doubted them that all the hate cannot bring them down. But even though their debut song Black Mamba was really successful, it wasn't until Next Level that they started to be seriously considered a threat for the K-pop acts of the 4th generation. At that point, people still disliked them, but for some reason, even the haters kept listening to their songs. When Next Level came out, the song received so much backlash that it was unreal. People found it weird. They didn't understand the beat drops, the mixture of different sounds, and they felt as if they were listening to 3 different songs at once. Well, this almost universal opinion changed only in a matter of days as the song started to top all the charts possible. Not only that, but the government of South Korea had to ban the song from playing during the exam period because it was so addictive and the students kept repeating the chorus of it instead of paying attention to studying. This happened only a few times before, and coincidentally, one of those times was with another SM group, SHINee, and their song Ring Ding Dong. But back to Aespa. The story of Next Level is very interesting actually. The song was originally used as a soundtrack for Fast and Furious, but the producer, Adam McInnes, decided to redo the song and wanted to push it to the Asian market. He was approached by BMW as they wanted to use the song for their own commercials, but then SM Entertainment approached the producer saying that they must have it. When he heard what SM did with the song, he was amazed by it and even revealed in an interview how he felt at that moment. I was like, okay, this is something unique. They're adding elements we would have never thought of. When Adam was asked about the music video of Next Level, he said that he had no clue that they would do a video like that and that he felt as if they did something no one else did before. Not only that, but in the interview with Adam, there's a great point that might explain why Aespa is becoming becoming so successful at the moment. As many of you know, the current generation's attention span is shrinking each year. Now, what SM is doing with Aespa, and for example with NCT as well, is that they're pushing a very diverse content that the fans and even casual listeners cannot get enough of because they're always hit with something new or with a piece that's a bit different from the previous one. What SM did with Next Level was what they tried to do with I Got a Boy with Girls' Generation before, or with FX's experimental music. SM is using multiple genres in one song in order to gain back the listener's attention so the listener may experience a unique moment like, oh, okay, that was cool, that was interesting. Or they might be completely weirded out by it, but eventually they get back into it and feel very attracted to the style that is presented to them. I mean, NCT Sticker single-handedly takes the award for the most hated song of 2021, and yet the song topped all the charts and was listened to by millions in a matter of hours. Based on this fact alone, it's safe to say that SM knows very well what they're doing, and they still have big plans for Aespa in the future. What actually solidified Aespa's position in the industry was when they achieved even greater things in 2022, only 2 years after their debut. The new leaders of K-pop. In January of 2022, Aespa truly became a monster rookie as they reached the so-called Rookie Grand Slam. To achieve the Rookie Grand Slam, the K-pop artist must win particular awards in all the major rookie categories at all the award shows in South Korea. From fourth-generation K-pop groups, only Aespa, ITZY, and TXT managed to achieve this. Other than dealing with hate, the hardest thing for the members was to perform without an audience. Since they debuted in the middle of the pandemic, they had no opportunity to perform in front of a live audience. Now imagine their surprise when they were told that they were being officially invited to perform at Coachella. This has never happened to a K-pop rookie group, to be invited to a huge festival and perform in front of an infinite sea of people. This is even more amazing as Aespa has not even had that many performances, and they made this huge jump and landed on the Coachella stage. They were the second K-pop girl group to ever perform at Coachella, following Blackpink. Karina shared in an interview, "We've put our hearts into our actions, music, and performances. Because of COVID, we often weren't able to meet our fans in person, and our fans could only see us through their screens, so we've put more energy into our performances and have always tried to do our best. We feel a great sense of responsibility." But although performing at Coachella is a great achievement, Aespa topped themselves when SM Entertainment announced their comeback with the new album Girls. The album broke numerous records and it sold 1 million copies in a week just in pre-orders. They're the second girl group to ever do this, first being Blackpink. What's interesting about this record though is that the fans knew nothing about the album. They had no idea what it included, what it looked like, how many songs there would be. They knew really nothing. They just knew that there were a few versions and that it's titled Girls. On online Korean forums, netizens wrote posts like, "What is the deciding factor behind Aespa's sudden fame?" And people agreed that it's because of their unique concept, their song Next Level, and the fact that SM did their magic with them. Red Velvet's Wendy once spoke about Aespa, and her words seriously sound exactly like what rookies need to hear from their seniors. Plus, I believe it wraps up this video beautifully. Wendy said, "It felt so real to meet them, but they're very much like babies. When you see the real Aespa, it's like seeing a baby." So there you have it. What do you think about Aespa's great success? Do you love them just like we do? Share your thoughts in the comments. Bye guys!